Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Bourne from Livingston, Montana. Hope you guys are having a fine day today. I'm coming to you from my home here. I've got a little Mickey Mouse studio set up in my bedroom, so hey, It is June 12th of 2025. I always have to take an index card and write stuff down because I forget. Right off the get-go on this video, I wanna shout out to Sports and Gadgets. Got that? Sports and Gadgets. They've been a real good vendor of Benchmade knives to me. You can see them on Amazon, and I think they're over in Maine. Like I say, Sports and Gadgets, everybody. Okay, and I wish them a thank you. Now, what this video is about is this right here. This is a Benchmade 945-221. This is a gold series, a gold cup, if you will, limited edition Benchmade knife, a collector's item, more or less. I'm holding it way back here because if I put it up close to you, you're not going to be able to see it very well at all. As a matter of fact, I got a bunch of pictures that I'm going to turn into a slideshow, and I will present that slideshow right after this clip here. Okay? Okay. The reason being is I got some really good photographs, and you can see this knife a lot better. It deserves to be seen well, in my humble opinion. Okay? Like I say, collector's item, limited edition, gold class, or whatever they call it, gold series. Matter of fact, here's the box that comes in, these Benchmade gold series knives, of course, are pretty doggone expensive. I know this one here put me in the poorhouse, that's for sure. But I wanted it, I bought it. For a kid growing up here in Montana that started off in the 4th grade, I had $1 Imperial knives I used to run around with. We never had knives that cost much more than about $5. And if you did, you had a grail. Now here I am running around with a knife right now that's worth hundreds of dollars. I really don't even want to say what I paid for it because it was a lot of money. All you have to do is just look up this knife. You will soon find out how much this bugger costs. Anyway, moving along here, so I don't get bogged down. Like I say, after I get done jabbering here, I will introduce to you folks a slideshow, okay? Because it's just better that way. The pictures are better, in my humble opinion. Okay, this is my owner's certificate, if you will, for owning a gold series knife. I don't know if you can see that, but my knife is number 2061. I have no idea how many of these collector's items, this particular run of knives, I have no idea how many Benchmade put out because they won't say. They could have put out 4,000, 3,000, 10,000. And this knife here was made on, let's see, August 9th of 2022. Okay, this is what this little certificate says here. I'll try to move through this quick, so don't get bored. Hang in here with me. You might learn something. You might even like this knife like I do. I've got no other choice to like it because I've got a fortune wrapped up into it. Like I say, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 945-221. It is an Egar. I don't know how to pronounce that. A-E-G-I-R, Egar, or whatever. Dama steel blade. It's my understanding that this is a Norski blade. I think it comes out of Sweden. Very high quality steel on this guy. You'll see that later on in this video, okay? We got aqua anodized 6061 aluminum bolster and thumb studs. We've got Arctic Storm fat carbon fiber handles. And by the way, this particular fat carbon comes out of Lithuania. I think I've got that right. Hopefully I do. Anyway, we got DLC coated stainless steel axis bar access bar liners and clip, a 24 karat gold floating stainless steel backspacer, and an Osborne design. This is a Mini Osborne, if I didn't say that. It's a takeoff from the original 940 Osborne. It's a 945, okay? But there's that, never in my life did I ever figure I'd own a knife with gold plating, but this backspacer right here is plated with gold. Okay, what else am I going to talk about here? I really don't know. It's one of these things. I just got naming off all the high points, everything that this knife has, and so the only thing I can figure that's left is some pictures, like I say. And by the way, this knife is very smooth. It opens up very, very fast. Since this is a collector's item, I shouldn't even be playing around with this knife, but hey, when you get something like this in your hands, you just want to play around with it. I'm not much of a flicker, one of these nervous kind of guys that sits around flicking the knife, but, matter of fact, this knife is kind of small. It's a little bit hard to get a hold of that thumb stud right there, but, matter of fact, I just got done buying a barrage. Well, you want to talk a knife that really thunders the blade out, and just try out one of them barrages, spring assisted. Once you hit that, you hit that thumb button there, that knife, that pretty much comes flying out of there with a lot of authority. Okay, anyway, I know you can't see this, but this is my little certificate of ownership, and it's got the Benchmade gold seal right there. Maybe you can see that. Maybe if I hold it still and stop waving it around, you can see it, Okay, what I think I'm going to do here before, I can guarantee you that probably about 50 people started watching this video. Now I got 2. So anyway, better turn that thing off. And I hate that screensaver coming on me. I should really keep that monitor off, I reckon, Okay, like I say, I'll just do this one more little shot here. You can see if I move it up here, my autofocus just isn't going to work right. And it's not because I don't have a good camera. It's because I'm a dummy, and I don't know how to work things. I don't know how to adjust that autofocus, so there you are. But anyway, I know if I sit back here, you can kind of see it. But right now, I'm going to move on to the slideshow, and then after the slideshow's over with, I'll come back and say goodbye. Okay? Okay. Thank you very much for tuning in here, and enjoy the slideshow. Boop. Well, I thank you folks for you guys and gals that hung in here to this point in this movie file, because I realized that my intro was a little bit long-winded, but I don't care. Anybody that follows me knows that I just do these videos to the best of my ability. I mostly do them spontaneous. I don't do too much editing and all of that stuff. Why? Because editing is boring, that's why. Back when I was younger, I used to do a lot of editing, but I don't anymore. So anyway, thank you very much for hanging in here. That is my Benchmade 945 221 knife. And I hope you liked it, because I surely liked it. And we shall see you on down the trail, ladies and gentlemen. Adios, my friends. Boop.